We're fortunate to be joined by the great Rick Bozich from WDRB.com. Rick, how are you, sir?
I'm good. A little tired yesterday after getting home late from Bloomington. And
I was going to say, it's been a busy week for you. I mean, U of L playing, IU playing, all the press conferences. It's been a busy week for all of us, but especially, if you're driving back and forth.
Yeah, yesterday was Scott Satterfield and Kenny Payne. Tonight is Louisville season opener against Bellarmine, which is a fascinating matchup because some people think Bellarmine has a legit chance to take them out. They're only a 9-point underdog. Kentucky and Indiana both play again tomorrow, and then we got college football this weekend. And Louisville plays basketball again on Saturday.
And then Indiana next week has one of those weeks where Friday they play at Xavier, Saturday they play football at Michigan State, and Sunday they play basketball in Indianapolis.
Miami of Ohio. Why are they playing that game in Indianapolis? Just to give the people in Indy a chance to see them play?
You know what? I guess. I guess. I don't know. I would think that if you're going to do one in Indy, well, I guess they're guaranteeing a win. It's like the old Hoosier Classic and the Indiana Classic. But I would just rather see that as being one of the marquee kind of games. But right. I'm sure that will be. I mean, I don't know the Kentucky series when it comes about, if that is just going to take the place of the Kansas series, because it's just a one-off deal, home and home. Right. So kind of what I'm thinking there. But yeah, it is what it is. You were here for the first game. Indiana took on Morehead State the other night. They started strong. Then Morehead State made it challenging, man. They were knocking down threes, but Indiana didn't force anything from outside and just kept pounding them in the middle and just ended up just easily getting a win, but it wasn't as easy at first.
Yeah, I mean, that's obvious. Morehead State came in with a strategy of they're going to take as many threes as possible, and if they hit some, they could keep it close and maybe put a little game pressure on Indiana. You know, if you're expecting to win big and the other team hangs around, the longer it goes, the home team starts to feel pressure. But after that point where it was I don't remember if it was 21-21 or 22-21, whatever it was, Indiana took control, and I definitely saw a lot more good than things to worry about because Malik Renew was tremendous as advertised. Great footwork, great touch with his left hand, tremendous sense of the game of like when to push towards the basket, when not to. Ability to finish, highly competitive. He was talking trash to the Morehead State bench. Jalen Hood-Schifino was what I thought he would be. I mean, he only scored 7 points. I don't expect him to be some guy that's going to score a bunch of points. He was
efficient, very efficient.
Very efficient. Never got sped up. Does have a good mid-range jumper. And the bench was tremendous. The bench brought energy. Geronimo and Galloway and Bates, I thought, all played pretty well. So the only thing that I would question is, and I know other people have talked about it, they beat Morehead because of their strength around the basket. Not going to be able to do that against Big Ten teams as consistently. Like to see a little bit more integration of the three-point shot into the offense, but it's only the first game.
And I asked Mike about that, Dustin, afterwards, and he's pointed out that in that particular game they were just bigger, and so there wasn't the need for it. Indiana only put up 11 in the contest, hitting 4, which actually wouldn't have been bad had that been at 4 of 10. I'm like, 40%, you'll take that. 9 of 30 for Morehead State as they were chucking them up. More than half of their shots they put up. But we saw Miller Kopp did not score a point in the first half. I don't know if he took a shot in the first half, but in the second half, he didn't force anything. And then he caught one in transition, set his feet, busted it. There was another play, and then kind of the same thing in transition, set his feet, just drained it. And then all of a sudden he had 8 points. Bam. And so that's if you can get that, but they're going to need that out of him. He didn't have to score 12 points a game, but I think that they need to get 6-8 points out of him every game if he's going to be on the floor like that. But they look pretty good. I think the shooting is going to be fine. Tamar Bates, his shot looked a lot better. I think that Jalen Jafino can shoot. I'm not worried about that. And if Xavier can keep his shot selection in check, I think they'll be fine shooting.
Yeah, I thought his shot selection was decent against Moorhead. He just missed a couple. In fact, he missed that one drive that I thought for sure was going to go in. I agree with you. Right before Kopp hit those back-to-back threes, I think I was sitting next to Zach Osterman and said, if Kopp's going to play, they got to run some sets or do something to get shots.
Yeah, he's got to do something.
There's no reason for him to play if he's not going to get shots.
Yeah.
And his shot looked better. It was quicker. He was ready to fire. And those are the plays that I think he can really be effective. And those are the plays that demoralize defenses. I'm pretty sure at one of them it was a 3-on-2 break. So you had, I believe it was Jackson Davis was doing the rim run. Bates, I think, was coming down with the ball, and Kopp set up on the right wing. And you forced the defense to decide what are you going to defend. And they left Kopp open. They got on the ball, and it was on point the whole way. So, as I said, for a first game, that was an improvement they made from the first half to the second half to get him more involved in the offense. And that's the next element they need to add, is like those plays like that, I think psychologically really demoralize the defense.
Well, Indiana was able to obviously take advantage of its size advantage against Moorhead State, and so you don't see much from the three-point line. What's going to be interesting to me is they play Bethune-Cookman Thursday, and this is a team that actually, I'm not saying they have talented size, but they do have some size on the inside. I think they've got 4 or 5 guys that are 6'9" or taller. So there's going to be a little bit of competitiveness on the inside that Indiana didn't face in its 2 exhibition games or in its season opener. So I'm interested. I don't think we're going to find out a whole lot still, but I think we'll see a little bit more about what the 3-point shooting looks like, because I don't think it's going to come quite as easy on the interior for Trace Jackson Davis, Malik Mernu, some of those other guys. I think that there's going to be at least some need to hit some 3-point shots, and Iowa 11-33 in this team just the other day. So I think we'll find out a little bit more about what Indiana's outside shooting looks like on Thursday.
Right. That's good. That's what you want in these games. You want to play a variety of styles and be tested in a variety of ways. And I know that in game 3, which is a week from Friday at Xavier they have Jack, is it Nunge or Nunge? How do you pronounce
Nunge,
it?
yeah.
Jack Nunge.
The former Iowa guy. He's a big man, and they have another big guy who's pretty good, and you're playing on the road, and you'll have Sean Miller wanting to defend the honor of his brother, and that'll be a tough game for Indiana. And his brother,
he better worry about playing Quinnipiac if he wants to defend the honor of his brother.
I knew you. I threw that one right down the middle, and you knocked it out of the park, man. I told you.
Rhode Island was the only Atlantic 10 team to lose their opener, by the way.
Yeah, could be a long
Little
year.
Rhodey.
What's their nickname? Rhode Island. You call
the
him Little Rhodey.
I call Archie Lil Rhodey. Lil Rhodey still losing openers to subpar teams since 2016.
I think Indiana State just made another 3.
And the defender has got his back to him looking for him.
We were there. Yeah.
Joey Brunk, never forget that.
Joey Brunk is 35 feet from the basket trying to guard a 3.
I will never forget that. I'm like, what?
Catching the screen 10 feet away from the switch.
It was great.